1%, London down 2.7%, and U.S. stocks could open lower by 300 points, as I mentioned earlier. And this is all because we're waking up to 2 fewer investment banks on Wall Street. Lehman Brothers has filed for bankruptcy, and Bank of America is taking over Merrill Lynch in a $50 billion deal. So during all of this, the Fed is trying to calm investors.
On Thursday at about 11 o'clock in the morning, the Federal Reserve noticed a tremendous drawdown of money market accounts in the United States to the tune of $550 billion was being drawn out in a matter of an hour or two. The Treasury opened up its window to help. They pumped $105 billion in the system and quickly realized that they could not stem the tide. We were having an electronic run on the banks. They decided to close the operation, close down the money accounts, and announce a guarantee of $250,000 per account so there wouldn't be further panic out there. And that's what actually happened. If they had not done that, their estimation was that by 2 o'clock that afternoon, $5.5 trillion would have been drawn out of the money market system of the United States, would have collapsed the entire economy of the United States, and within 24 hours the world economy would have collapsed. Now, we talked at that time about what would happen if that happened. It would have been the end of our economic system and our political system as we know it. And that's why, when they made the point, we've got to act and do things quickly, we did. Now, Secretary Paulson said, let's buy out.
Mervyn King, the Bank of England's governor, kind of put himself at odds with the government last week when he essentially complained about what he called the bank's lack of powers to deal with the economic crisis.
The Chancellor has handed over powers to the Bank of England to prevent a repeat of the banking excesses which triggered the recession. George Osborne announced the abolition of the Financial Services Authority in a shake-up of city regulation which he said would produce a new settlement between our banks and the rest of our society. Fairer settlement in which the banks support the people instead of the people bailing out the banks. Regulatory powers will be returned to Threadneedle Street with the creation of 3 new bodies within the bank to deliver prudential regulation on financial firms' financial stability and consumer protection. In his first Mansion House speech as Chancellor, Mr. Osborne said uncertainty over regulation must be dispelled to allow a return to more normal lending and to meet the government's broader economic goals.
Never in the field of financial endeavour has so much money been owed by so few to so many. And one might add, with little real reform.